Hey guys, what's up? I'm gonna do another video today. I'm gonna do a catfishing video because it's kind of like a year since all that catfishing stuff really was taking off, basically. And I'm also going to do a review of basically my 1 year on Interpals, I guess, because that's where a lot of the catfishing stuff happened. And of course, the background, just to get into that, is people have been stealing my pictures since before it was even called catfishing. You know what I mean? Years and years ago when I first had that modeling job, and it was kind of funny because a lot of people they see me and they think that maybe I'm full of myself or I just whore myself out for some reason, right? But again, the people that have known me a while, like back in the day, even when I was like making money playing video games, traveling all around and had the job as a model, I was always kind of against like social media. I guess I didn't want to like put myself out there. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to be like look at me kind of thing, right? And so I mean, there was like fake MySpaces of me that I've never didn't have a MySpace or anything like that. There's like some people use my pictures on like dating sites, etc. You know what I mean? I think it was a green site. I don't know if it was hot or not or what it was, but people used to randomly steal my pictures there. But I actually never used any of that stuff. And again, as the story goes, I only actually even got a Facebook originally because well, in 2008, all that dying stuff was going on. It's like, well, fuck, if I'm gonna die, I better try to get into contact with everyone again to see how everyone is doing. Do you know what I mean? One last time. So I mean, I never even had any of that stuff before then. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, kind of like a lot of what's been going on with the catfish and stuff because it's been about a year, and especially like a year since a lot of this has started, and basically most of it was at Interpals that I've seen. I don't even really check 4chan anymore because people have been stealing my pictures on 4chan so often that I kind of got tired of looking at it. Do you know what I mean? So not that I hate 4chan or anything by any means. Do you know what I mean? But I got tired of just seeing everyone always pretending to be me. And it's one thing if you're gonna pretend to be me, but do you have to make me look bad? Like sometimes they try to make me look bad. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes they make me look cool. Do you know what I mean? But other times, what I mean? I just hate when people try to make me look bad. It's like if you're gonna steal my pictures, at least try to make me look cool, right? So a lot of times I don't even check 4chan anymore because it's just gotten so ridiculous. But anyway, so I've been on Interpals for about a year now, and the Interpals thing started because I started getting messages on my Facebook because some girls they reversed Google searched my image and I popped up, and they're like, "Yeah, who are you? Blah blah blah. Did you? I don't know. People pretending to be me, and a lot of people stealing my pictures to get girls naked on camera, get videos, and then trade them all around." Anyway, so they showed me Interpals, and I've seen 5 fakes of me on Interpals. You know what I mean? I've heard about more, but I've only seen 5. So who knows how many of them there were? You know what I mean? So that's why I originally came to Interpals. Do you know what I mean? Because of all the fakes, and as the story went on, it was 4chan, the Culture Pals, and International. They were stealing all my pictures. And yeah, basically, I think I've talked about a little bit of the story in the other videos. So if you actually care, you could listen to those, I guess. But anyway, so kind of a review of like Interpals now about what I've learned about the site, right? So Interpals is basically a dating site in disguise, right? An international dating site, more or less, where I think the main gimmick is people go to the site to learn languages from each other. And yeah, from all over the world, But of course, you know what I mean? And this isn't a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? One of the best things about would be to learn a language is to find someone else that you like and interaction so you can trade. Do you know what I mean? Like and trade languages that way. Do you know what I mean? Like one of the bad things for me personally was when I was taught myself Japanese and stuff. I've never been super horny about Asian girls. I'm not saying I don't like Asian girls, but I've never been super horny about Asian girls, even though I made money playing video games and was a bit of a nerd. Do you know what I mean? So I never had the desire to say like a lot of maybe other nerds are like super horny about Asian girls, like, oh, I need an Asian girlfriend and then they can help me practice Japanese. Like I was never one of those guys like, oh, let me get an Asian girlfriend because I like Japanese. So that just wasn't me. But I respect the idea because you know what I mean, who doesn't want to like, hey, I have a girlfriend and we like each other and I'm getting knowledge out of this. Like that's pretty cool, right? So of course, you know what I mean, the fact that Interpals is a bit of a dating site does not surprise me, right? Um, what else can I say about it? So yeah, it's kind of like a dating site in disguise to learn languages. What can I say about the language learning aspect of Interpals? Well, I have not really used it as that because I've mostly just used it because people have been stealing my pictures and I've gotten a lot of messages about it. Do you know what I mean? Trying to combat that. Although now that I'm there, obviously I would like to make friends, and I will say I do think it's good, even though it's been kind of hard to make friends. I do think it's a good site to make friends if you put in a lot of effort. As for the language learning, again, I haven't really used it like that. I mean, if I wasn't so sick, which I should say in a way that people stealing my pictures on Interpals, etc., and finding the site has been kind of a blessing in disguise because since my health has gotten really bad again this year, again, this is the 8th week now. I've been in and out of the hospital for 7 weeks now. You know what I mean? So kind of like a blessing in disguise because I've been housebound a lot again for about the past year now. So in a way, it's been nice. Do you know what I mean? Because I've not been able to be as social as I would have liked to. So, but for the language learning aspect, I haven't really used it like that. So I can't comment too much, but I've talked to other people, and obviously, yeah, a lot of people have told me that they have not had a good time learning languages at the site, that it's been a struggle. And I believe that. What are some other stereotypes of Interpals? I will say that, and this sounds terrible, not trying to sound bad. A lot of people block people from Turkey, Georgia, or no, Turkey and Morocco or something like that. Do you know what I mean? They have too many sex messages or too many bad messages like that. And there's like a lot of people, if you look at profiles of everyone on Interpals, they just block a country like Turkey. What can I say about that? I will agree that that stereotype I have found, it sounds kind of bad, but I've met a lot of like, I'm talking to some girls right now from Turkey, but I've met a lot of people that are cool from Turkey, but I will say that a majority of the weird, mean messages I get are from people from Turkey, Georgia, or Iran, actually. So that there's a bit of a stereotype there, and I do find that that is true. I don't know, not that there's no one bad from, not that there's like not good people from there, but there I do get probably the majority of my not nice messages are people from there, I would say. What are some other things? The hypocritical nature, maybe I should comment on Interpol. So that, again, it's a dating site, but people, well, they will post stuff like "Don't flirt with me," blah blah blah. But when you have a lot of conversations with everyone, and again, I'm a person just like in real life, I try to answer everyone that messages me. And Interpals, I've had thousands of messages, and I don't. I wish as there was like some kind of arithmogram or that arithmogram. I don't know how you say that word. That you could see how many messages I've answered. I'm sure it would be in the thousands. It's just absolutely ridiculous that I've like, I try to talk to everyone. You know what I mean? So, there's a lot of hypocritical messages though that like people say, oh, I don't like when people flirt with me, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of the people that you talk to, they cannot actually have a conversation. So it's kind of hard to talk to people because they just like they're like, don't flirt with me, but then they're like, oh geez, why aren't you flirting with me? Like I actually get messages like that of people getting mad. It's ridiculous. And to comment on that as well, which and this is kind of like real life, I will say, just like because the internet could be like real life, right? I guess in a way, kind of. Wait, bear with me where I'm going. So a lot of times, and you'll see people on Interpals and they'll talk about like, oh, I'm so nice, blah, 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 blah. I'm very friendly, blah, blah, blah. Message me. And then you talk to these people and they're just so not nice. And it just like, it makes me so bitter and like, just like real life, I kind of have this like, kill them with kindness kind of thing. Whenever you hear someone like talk about how nice they are, you kind of roll your eyes. And sometimes I'll message people. Sometimes I'll see a profile and they're just talking about how nice they are, and I'll message them just out of like kind of like a masochistic side to see like, oh yeah, how nice is this person, right? And you know what I mean? Like, God, you are not that nice. And there's just like a very it's hard to have a it's really is hard to have a conversation sometimes with people there because people are so delusional sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Um, and again, it could be because I don't cherry pick people I answer most of the time. You know what I mean? I literally message and try to respond to everyone that talks to me. So I get a wide variety of like crazy messages. But do you know what I mean? It's hard to have a real conversation there. Do you know what I mean? Just lots of like really kind of crazy people. And it's like, wow, no wonder you are on a international dating site because you have some mental problems. You cannot hold a real conversation. I can tell there's something wrong here. Speaking of weird messages, what would be some weird messages I could say? Lots of people maybe like the stereotype they get weird messages. Yes, I get lots of weird messages. I have let's talk about the weird messages and just catfishing in general, right? So again, I've seen 5 fakes of me at the site. I know I talked to Yulia, and she said I was the third person with my picture to talk to her. So I was like, wait, who? So you know what I mean? I talked to her. She's a nice girl. But I mean, that was weird. I mean, I found out she had talked to multiple people using my pictures. So on the comments about, I wouldn't be surprised if I talked to some fakes too. Do you know what I mean? I trust anyone that I talk to on Interpals before I like actually Skype with them with like a grain of salt. So I just try to take every interaction for what it is because it's really hard to have a real conversation sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't even know if this is person real, so it's just kind of like, I'll just go with the flow, right? Do you know what I mean? Like it is what it is. But weird messages, yeah, lots of gay messages I get, and even like I can't tell you, I mean, how many times I've agreed to Skype with some guy, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm gay," and he tries to show me his butthole or some shit. I've gotten some pretty downright creepy messages. Actually, I don't even know if I should say because I feel like this creepy enough that the fact that the person was messaging me, I feel like I could get in trouble. Like I'm gonna like guilty by association. Like some really weird message, like, dude, I gotta block you. You're weird, dude. Do you know what I mean? Like I've had like people trying to teach, like they're asking me to teach them how to masturbate and stuff like that. Some weird fucking messages, dude. Like that's not even the weirdest, but that's a tame one. So yeah, I mean, I've had to like just I eventually blocked guys now. I can't even like answer all the gay messages anymore. It got so weird. But a lot of times even you'll get like a girl will message you. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't even know if this person is real, but I'll agree to like talk to you, and then it's a guy on Skype or something like that. And what would be some other weird things I could talk about? Uh, Here, let me give you some examples of weird. Here's interactions I've had. A lot of messages of just people might randomly message me, and like I have gotten good messages on Interpals too. Like some people are super nice to me. Do you know what I mean? I can't tell you how many times I've agreed to Skype with someone and literally like I said, I do pretty well in real life sometimes too. Sometimes I go out and girls spill their spaghetti basically and go crazy too. But the funny thing about it is Interpals, let's say on the internet, like since you already know they like you, you know it's gonna happen. And dude, I've had some really crazy like I've gone on Skype with girls and like, oh my God, you're real, and the girls like have literally started like basically crying. It's like it's a good compliment. It's kind of insane, but yeah, but so weird messages though, like where's some weird, you get people just talking about how much they hate you, how they know you're a bad person, an evil person. They know that you did this, and you have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. So, like sometimes I've felt like deleting my account. Sometimes I've gotten so many bizarre, weird, mean messages, honestly. And sometimes just like what I was talking about earlier, like it's like God, I can see why you're on the internet. Like you cannot have a real conversation. Like, what would be a good example? I talked to this one girl, right? Her profile's like, oh, I'm so nice, I am cute, I am friendly, blah, blah, blah. I love talking to people. Please message me. I want to be friends with everyone, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'm like, okay. The masochistic side of me will message you, right? I messaged her and it was like a quick conversation, just a few lines, right? So anyway, then she stopped talking to me and I messaged like, hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Did something happen? She's like, oh, well, I don't like what you wrote in your profile, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what did I write in my profile, right? And so this girl can't really, her English was not 100% right. So she started like saying that I said this stuff in my profile, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't say that. And she's like, and she writes me the quotes and she can't even like, yeah, that's what I said. Like, what are you talking? She's like translating the sentence like exactly wrong. She's like, I hate people like you that would say that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, that's not what I said. Like, do you know English? She's like, well, no, of course I don't know English. So I don't know what you said. So I'm just assuming the worst about you. Like, literally, like saying that. It's like, so you literally are assuming that I said something I didn't and now trying to use it as an excuse because you don't know English. She's like, yes, and you are a bad person. I can tell. Like literally kind of like psychotic or something like that. I'm like, dude, I think you have problems, right? And then like the girl's like, I just wanted to know, like I was crying about this. How dare you say that I have some kind of problem because I don't understand English and you are an awful person. Like just like I've gotten a lot of weird conversations on Interpals. um God, what would be of course there's lots of funny pickup line and I will say I've talked to a lot of really fucking horrible people on that site too. I've thought about actually writing down everyone's name that have been bad actually, and just like putting it on a list for like hey, stay away from these people. Like sometimes the people you talk about, like there's some people. What was this one girl's name? It was like X hidden or X hidden. It was like some spaces in it. Like literally, the girl said she just goes to the site to make fun of people. She'll like pretend that like she'll be nice, and just so she can then start making fun of people and be mean to them. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, I mean, there's some really awful people on that site. It's just like, man, dude, it really pisses me off, honestly. It's like, dude, like, why are you like throwing bad vibes on everyone? Like, I feel like when you're on the internet, you should want to be like, dude, be friendly, right? Do you know what I mean? But no, yeah, what could like lots of funny pickup lines and bad languages. What should I say? I can't even laugh about it anymore because I laughed about it so much with my friend when I first got it. Some girl like messaged me and she was like, "I want you to kiss your Rolex while I kiss your tender meat." Like I said, I can't even laugh about it. I laughed about that for like 2 days. This girl was like telling me such bizarre pickup lines. It was just ridiculous. I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're saying. I don't think it's English. She's like, no, really, I know what I'm saying. It's just that I'm a butcher and I love meat. And I was just like, this girl is fucking, I don't know, pretty funny. But so what are some other things I can say? Let's talk about the catfishing stuff on 4chan about though. One of the things that sucks is since I found Interpals though, a lot of people will still try to say that I'm fake, even though, God, I've had people try to say that I made fake videos of myself, which you know what I mean? Absolutely insane. And like, there's like almost like on 4chan and like there's almost a fucking and I've never tripped on 4chan before, just to say there's almost like a cock measuring contest on it too. Like you'll see people like try to one up each other and like steal each other's cuties to say, which I should say generally on for Interpals, I generally just talk to people. I flirt with some girls, but generally, you know, nothing too crazy. Do you know what I mean? Every now I talk maybe girls are cute, you know what I mean? But generally it's pretty tame. Um, but you know what I mean? There's almost like you see like other members like trying to like one up each other and like make up lies about each other. And it's like I'm not even like there to like steal anybody's thing. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just you guys like stole my picture, so now I'm here. Do you know what I mean? Like why do you got to go around and like I had one guy, dude. He tried to like spread some lie to basically my best friend on the site, and we're like, dude, what are you talking about? Like I don't think he realized that this girl like I talk to her all the time. She's like my best friend. Like and you see people are going around. They try to make up lies about me. Like I've had messages from other girls like, hey, this guy's messaging me about you saying you did this. I'm like, what? And sometimes it sucked because sometimes I haven't, you know, I've only talked to the girl a little bit and I'm just trying to become friends. And, you know, I've gotten blocked by so many girls. It's like, dude, I never even talked to this girl before. And I got, like, I'm sure because they saw one of my fakes or one a girl I've only talked to her a few times and I got blocked. And then I find out, like, oh, someone was making up some lies about me. I mean, it's like fucking, I don't know. That kind of sucks. But, can I say anything else about this catfishing stuff? I will say something good about Interpals. I will say, like I said, there's a lot of bad about it, but I have met a lot of, you know, cool people. And if my health does ever get better, I would like to eventually meet a lot of the people I met on Interpals. You know what I mean? I do plan on traveling the world to meet a lot of people, so I think that would be fun. Um, I do think it's been worthwhile, and then I've gotten to learn about a lot about other cultures, some sad things about other cultures. Like I will say, I guess, you know, I didn't even know, you know, I've talked about it in some of the other videos, but I guess, you know, Russia and America, sometimes there's a lot of Russians I talk to that they actually hate Americans for some reason. And I didn't even realize this, but some people love Americans, you know what I mean? And then I've learned a lot of, you know, I've made a lot of Muslim friends from the site, you know what I mean? Which is almost kind of sad because a lot of the Muslim people that I tell you, it's almost like they use the site because they can't be friends, it sounds like, with a lot of people in public. So they actually use the site. It's like, it sounds like really sad. So I don't know. I've made a lot of friends and I've had a lot of bad experiences with Interpals and I've had a lot of good experience, but I guess it's been worthwhile, even though a lot of times I feel like I need to delete my account, you know, because it's just like too much. I will say I felt that it's worthwhile as well, especially because my health has been so bad this year and it's given me a little bit of an outlet. And you know, like I said, part of it is an ego boost. You know what I mean? I mean, I have gotten a lot of nice comments. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've had girls basically cry on Skype when they saw that I was real. They're like, it was just, I don't know why they thought it was that cool, but pretty ridiculous. Nice comment. But So yeah, gotta take the good with the bad. Do you know what I mean? Just to say, yeah, my Interpals account is Clayton some dude, and for all these other, catfishing stuff, secret dude is my Skype, SEEKRITDUDE. Clayton some dude, one word, is generally the name I use on things, you know what I mean, or Clayton Chapman. And of course, I'm a pretty open person. You can always just message me on Skype, and I'm pretty willing to Skype generally with you as long as you're not a gay dude trying to show me his butthole or you know what I mean. As long as I'm not too sick, I'm generally okay with Skyping to prove I'm real. So anyway, yeah, like I said, gotta take the good with the bad. I have been disappointed because, like I said, I've the 4chan stuff that they've actually still gone on, even though now that I'm on the site, they've tried to make me look bad, and I've like lost friends because of it. You know what I mean? That's been sad. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, a lot of the girls I'm just even talking to as friends. I'm not even trying to, it's not like a sexual conversation. I'm not trying to steal everyone's cuties. You know what I mean? So that's kind of sad. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's basically it, I guess. So that's catfishing Interpals 1 year later. Do you know what I mean? The end, I guess. Thanks.